Hey guys, in this video, we're going to continue to extend our knowledge of how to determine the authority of an author, a source, or a sponsor. Specifically, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what type of qualifications actually make an author, a source, or a sponsor authoritative. So the reason that we're going to be doing this, so we're kind of here to the why now, is threefold. When we think of authors, a lot of times I've seen you guys for CRAAP tests cite in universities that various people have attended, right? My author went to Oxford or this individual went to Harvard. And I just want to share with you that not everyone who graduates from good universities is necessarily a reliable source. For example, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, went to Harvard University. Feel free to look up who he was and the sort of horrific acts that he undertook and did. Second, when it comes to a source, let me use the New York Times, which we kind of know to be the most reliable source around. Well, on February 11th, 2019, the day before I'm recording this, the New York Times had to make 6 corrections, a roughly average day. In other words, guys, even the New York Times is fallible. And finally, when it comes to sponsor, well, we've learned that 72% of U.S. households live under the control of Sinclair Broadcast Group, a conservative, Trump-friendly TV empire. We cannot confuse popular with reliable. So as you can see, guys, even though there are certain things about Harvard University that we feel make that an authoritative source, we learn that it isn't necessarily. Even though the New York Times is generally reliable, maybe it isn't always the single credential or qualification we can use to justify a source being reliable. Like we can't just say it comes from the New York Times. And finally, as we know with our sponsors, oftentimes we have to do a little bit of digging, and what we tend to find out is that these sponsors tend to not necessarily lend credibility or quality to the source that we're looking at. So for this quick little video mini lesson, for this quick little tutorial, I'm just going to walk you through the author side of things, and then you're going to go ahead and read the source sponsor and watch the video. Let's just do this with the author. So first, you're going to see there's a few steps here. We're going to verify the author's qualifications in another source. To verify qualifications, we're going to look at past publications, work history, and professional associations, as opposed to just, he wrote an article for the New York Times once. And we're also going to look at the awards and controversy page, something we've already been doing. Finally, we're going to use Twitter as a tool to confirm qualifications. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how you're going to do this. And later on, other further information, you're going to learn a little bit about an add-on called Bot Check Me. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and dive right in here. This is an article written by a guy named Glenn Greenwald. This article is all about Jeff Bezos protests the invasion of his privacy as Amazon, his company, builds a sprawling surveillance state for everyone else. So in other words, what he's saying is Jeff Bezos is complaining that his privacy was violated, even though he's violating everyone else's privacy. Now, I share this because right off the bat, what we need to know is we need to check his qualifications. And as we learned by reading laterally, we don't want to check his qualifications within the intercept. We want to do this elsewhere. So right off the bat, what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and type in, let's see, Glenn Greenwald. Let's do this. Oops, sorry guys. Glenn Greenwald. And let's do source.wiki. All right. Great. So the first thing is that he actually has a Wikipedia page, which is actually kind of bodes well for him right off the bat. But let's keep going. All right. Let's try to learn a little bit more about this guy. So what we're going to be looking for, again, guys, as we go back to this mini lesson, we're looking for things like past publications, work history, and professional associations. So let's try to find out first from Wikipedia, where has he worked? Where has he contributed? So let me look around. Oh, well, you know what? Actually, I stumbled on something first. He worked on a team that won both a George Polk Award and a Pulitzer Prize. Let's see what a Pulitzer Prize is. The Pulitzer Prize is an award for achievements in it was established in. All right. So if I want to learn a little bit more, what could I do? Continue to work laterally. and learn a little bit about the Pulitzer Prize. Prize award yearly in 20 categories. It seems to be a pretty prestigious award. It comes out of Columbia University, which is an Ivy League school. So this bodes really well. So it definitely is impressive that Glenn Greenwald has won a Pulitzer Prize, or has been a part of a team that has. Now, as we continue down, again, what we're going to kind of be looking for here is, in addition to awards, which we've now seen, but we're also going to be looking for other places where he's worked, like a work history of some sort. We can see he's, okay, so a Salon contributor, so we can look at what Salon is. But even easier, I actually see something that we're all familiar with here, which is The Guardian. So we now know that he's worked for The Guardian. So this bodes really well, right? As we go back here, work history. Well, he's worked for The Guardian, right? Associations, right? He's worked for The Guardian. But what I'd like to do now is learn about his past publications. Remember, guys, Glenn Greenwald is writing an article about Jeff Bezos and protests of his privacy based on, the fact that he's created a surveillance state. So we need somebody who's involved in this sort of reporting in the past. So what I might do is type in Glenn Greenwald. I don't know why I have such trouble saying his name. Glenn Greenwald, The Guardian. And let me just go ahead and click here. And let's take a look. So let's learn a little bit about him. Former columnist on civil liberties and U.S. national security. That's good. Ex-constitutional lawyer. That bodes really well. So writer at Salon. We're going to have to look that up in a second. And he's the author of a few books. How Would a Patriot Act? A Critique of the Bush Administration. Tragic Legacy. Let's take a look at this. So again, let's work laterally here. Yeah, let's do reviews. See what we can find. Oh, that's Hassan Minaj's book. We're going to have her show, which is great, but that's exactly what we're looking for. Let's go here. All right. Let's maybe read a little bit about what it is. Oh, there's a Wikipedia page. How easy is that? Okay. Is a New York Times bestseller. That bodes well. Okay. He attacks what he argues is the illegal activity of the Bush administration in warrantless wiretapping and other matters. This right here tells us quite a bit about the guy. It certainly tells us that he has qualifications to write on this specific topic. And obviously that bodes really well, and that's really something that we're looking for. Additionally, though, guys, having done this first step, I'm going to now use Twitter to help me out a little bit. Let me learn a little bit more about this guy. So here we go. Here's his Twitter page. All I did was type in Glenn Greenwald Twitter, and I found it pretty quickly. First thing first, what does that little blue check mean? That little blue check means that he's verified on Twitter. Verification is a great indication of qualification and reliability. Not just anybody gets a blue tick. Now, additionally, what you want to do here is you want to use this little bio to help you out as well. For example, in his bio, what does he say? He's a journalist at The Intercept. This makes perfect sense, seeing as how he wrote this article for The Intercept. So the fact that we're able to corroborate these two things between Twitter and between the article itself bodes really well. You'll also see here there's a link to the staff page of The Intercept. Let's see. Oh, check it out. He's one of the co-founding editors of The Intercept. He's a journalist, constitutional lawyer, all these various things, and a series of awards here. That link bodes well because, again, it speaks to the fact that that is reliable. He truly is, well, a journalist, a founder at The Intercept. All of this, guys, tells me quite a bit. The other thing I can certainly do is I could scroll down and I could learn a little bit more about what sort of things he cares about. So, for example, right, he's talking here about Palestinian issues. He's talking here about a new freshman congresswoman. So you can go down and you can see that this is clearly something that catches his eye and something that he's knowledgeable about. I would have to say that based on all of this, Glenn Greenwald certainly seems to be a qualified source. Not based on where he went to school, mind you, not based on anything else, but based on the fact that we were able to verify and corroborate all of these various things, including past publications, work history and professional associations, awards and controversy, and we were able to take a look at his Twitter page. Great, guys.